shortstop, Larico, Nick Penner. Le numéro 79, number 79, le joueur désigné, the designated player, Taylor Shubada. Le numéro 10, number 10, the second baseman, le joueur de deuxième but, Josh Elliott. Le numéro 15, number 15, the catcher, le receveur, François-Charles René. Le numéro 9, number 9, the third baseman, le joueur de troisième but, Justin Gainey. Le numéro 7, number 7, the left fielder, le voltigeur de gauche, Justin Boyer. Le numéro 72, number 72, the first baseman, le joueur de premier but, Tyler Randerson. Le numéro 16, number 16, the right fielder, le voltigeur de droite, Zach Mackay. Le numéro 77, number 77, the pitcher, le lanceur, Marc-André Villeneuve. And the substitutes for Canada. Le numéro 12, number 12, Eric Healy. Le numéro 24, number 24, Curtis Highway. Le numéro 25, number 25, Matt Pilon. Le numéro 30, number 30, Tyson Zaire. Le numéro 55, number 55, Matt Wardrop. Le numéro 8, number 8, Johnny Baker. Le numéro 5, number 5, Samuel Bédard des Marais. The head coach, l'entraîneur-chef, Jim Jones, and the rest of the coaching staff. Representing the home team of Denmark, the starters in their batting orders, représentant l'équipe visiteur du Danemark, les joueurs partant dans leur ordre de frappeurs. Le numéro 50, number 50, the first baseman, le joueur de premier but, Anton Brown. Le numéro 6, number 6, the center fielder, le voltigeur de centre, Martin Hedegaard. Le numéro 20, number 20, the catcher, le receveur, Mark Milloy. Le numéro 66, number 66, the left fielder, le voltigeur, the pitcher, the lanceur, Tobias Holmelund. Le numéro 64, number 64, the second baseman, le joueur de deuxième but, Matt Dedetas. Le numéro 90, number 90, the shortstop, Larico, Matt Gegerson. Le numéro 60, number 60, the right fielder, le voltigeur de droite, Andreas Adelsbeck. Le numéro 91, number 91, the third baseman, le joueur de troisième but, Nikolai Holson. Le numéro 75, number 75, the left fielder, le voltigeur de gauche, Magnus Asmussen. Le numéro the substitutes for Denmark, les joueurs substituts pour le Danemark. Le numéro 10, number 10, Lucas Colding. Le numéro 88, number 88, Lucas Plowman. Le numéro 62, number 62, Jonathan Skov. Le numéro 5, number 5, Andreas Karlov. Le numéro 8, number 8, Alexander Lorentzen. Le numéro 15, number 15, Jasper Johansson. Le numéro 30, le numéro 13, number 13, Mats Brun. Le numéro 77, number 77, Peter Denholm Eliasson. L'entraîneur-chef, the head coach, Gilles Fournier, and the rest of the coaching staff. The umpires for today's game, les arbitres du match d'aujourd'hui. At home plate, from the Netherlands, l'arbitre au marque des Pays-Bas, Bob Heaskins. The first base umpire from the United States, l'arbitre au premier but des États-Unis, Casey Wade. The second base umpire from Mexico, l'arbitre au deuxième but du Mexique, Abel Chapa. The third base umpire from Germany, l'arbitre au troisième but de l'Allemagne, Thomas Lohnhoff. In honor of good sportsmanship, the players will now shake hands and exchange gifts. Dans l'honneur de l'esprit sportif, les joueurs se donneront maintenant la main et échangeront des cadeaux.
the 2014 ISF Junior Men's World Softball Championships here at Pepsi Softball Center in Whitehorse, Canada. For Sports Canada TV, I'm your host, Adrienne South. It is Canada taking on Denmark tonight. Canada coming off a 5-3 loss to Mexico earlier today. Despite being held runless for most of the game, they were able to get 3 runs late in the game, but it was not enough to come out victorious over Mexico. They come into this now with a record of 2-4. It will be Marc-Andre Villeneuve getting the start on the mound, making his pitching debut here in this tournament. Taking a look at Denmark, they come into this with a record of 1-4, and it will be Tobias Homeland taking the mound. He comes into this with a 16.8 ERA. With your thoughts on the game, we will send things to Kyle Smith and Jim Flanagan in the broadcast booth.
Thanks a lot, Adrian, as we settle in for the nightcap here. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Count the Holes, Day 6 on Sports Canada TV. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan here with you as we get ready for Canada versus Denmark. The first time this week Canada's been the visiting team here in Whitehorse. As you see the shot from home plate looking out, a high cloud-filled sky with just a little bit of blue off to the left field lines. Canada, as Adrian said, a 2-4 record coming into this. For Denmark, a 1-5 mark.
Kyle, if you had told me that Canada was just a game ahead or would be a game ahead of Denmark at this point in the tournament, you would color me surprised. Denmark with just one win, more surprising Canada with just the 2.
So for Denmark, the defense is Magnus Asmussen, Martin Hedegaard, and Andreas Alesbach out in right field. Nikolai Olsen, Mads Gregersen, and Mads Diditas over at second. Anton Brown plays at first. Mark Nihoy behind the plate, and Tobias Holmeland does the pitching. First pitch goes into the dirt for ball 1 as we're underway here on Wednesday night in Whitehorse. And called for a strike. Home plate umpires Bob Gieskens from the Netherlands, Casey Waite from the United States working at first. Second base umpires Abel Benavides Chapa working from Monterrey, Mexico. Thomas Lahnart over at third base from Germany, and Abel Menaboge works the 20-second clock up in the press box. 2-1 count here as Holmeland works to the leadoff man Tyler Paulai for Canada, as that one goes by the wayside.
Kyle, Holmeland, a very athletic player, very strong, one of their power hitters, primarily an outfielder. We saw him pitching the other day for the first time, and I guess no other way to say it, we endured a 14-walk performance by Holmeland.
And a free pass issued to Tyler Paulai, the leadoff man. It's Nick Penner and Tyler Shibata, the 1-2-3 hitters. Josh Elliott bats fourth. Francois Charles Rene bats in the 5-hole. Justin Gainey batting sixth. Justin Boyer will bat seventh. Tyler Anderson in the lineup and playing first base, batting eighth. And Zach Mackay over in right field and batting in the 9 spot. Called for strike 1. So a shakeup of Team Canada's lineup. And on the mound getting the start, it's Marc-Andre Villeneuve. He'll make his debut on the circle today for Canada. Second pitch swinging is Penner. That one goes up and caught for the first out of the ball game. Nice range by Asmussen to track that one down. One in the inning gone by the wayside for Team Canada. Canada suffering a 5-3 defeat at the hands of Team Mexico earlier on this afternoon. That was Canada's 4th loss of the tournament, as Jim said.
For Denmark, pretty much the same lineup that we have seen. I've actually had all of their games. I feel like I'm becoming their personal broadcaster. The primary change in this one.
Off and running, throw into center field. And Paulai takes the free base.
Primary change defensively, Peter Daneholm Eliasson, who had been the shortstop throughout, takes a spot on the bench. Mads Gregerson, who had played third in all the other games, moving over to short. And Nikolai Olsen will play third. Other than that, pretty much the same that we've seen from the Danes all week.
So Taylor Shibata will take for ball 2, 2-1. Not as big of a crowd as we've seen in past nights here, as Shibata launches one down the left field line and foul. So a big long strike for Holmeland.
Denmark not quite the draw that some of the medal round teams were earlier in the week, and of course the tough luck losses and the string of losses by Canada contributing to that as well. Seems like it was just yesterday, Sunday night, USA-Canada. Canada winning a big one. USA bouncing back to win 3. Canada struggling ever since.
And that one fouled at a play. 2-2. Canada on a 3-game losing streak midstream here as they try and break out of this slump. Bats have gone silent since that U.S. game for the most part, other than 6 runs against New Zealand. But it was a one-sided affair for the most part in that one. And this afternoon, Mexico was up 5-0. Little life in the bats in the 7th for Canada. Rallied for 3, but fell short. And now Shibata lifts that up out towards left field. Over comes the center fielder on a long run. Martin Hedegaard will make the grab. So 2 down here in the inning. Paulai started it with a walk and 2 flyouts now, left and right side, rather left and center. Josh Elliott will come to the plate. And to the backstop it goes. Paulai up to third standing. So on the wild pitch, Tyler Paulai into scoring position up to third now. Ball to the batter, Elliott. Josh back-to-back starts now for, it was Zaire who started the last game. Tyson into the lineup. Now Elliott pinch hit back earlier this afternoon. Count runs 3-2. And the scoreboard leads us astray. Now it goes 3-1. And ball 4. So 2 walks by Holmeland here this inning. Will bring the catcher tonight, Francois Charles Rene, who's been in left field all week, now comes into home to catch. Little life left in the crowd here on Wednesday night. And a little slow come around for strike 1. This might be a good game for Canada if they can get on to Tobias Holmeland.
The big problem most teams would have with him is just being patient enough and waiting for pitches.
There's one waited. Francois Charles Rene. See ya. A 3-run shot for Charles Rene. Canada strikes early here in the first inning.
I'd say he waited pretty well on that one, Kyle.
Waited well, brought the bat through, and put it out into right center. So Justin Gainey now comes to the plate.
In the game against Australia, that was the problem that the Aussies had. They were trying to get the bats hot at that time, and they just couldn't find a pitch to hit. Francois Charles Rene finds one to his liking.
That's been Canada's problem. One of Canada's problems this week is cashing in runners in scoring position. This could be, I was saying, this could be a game where the bats get going. Just what Canada and the doctor ordered coming into this one. Ball one to the batter. Gainey takes for strike one.
Canada's 2 remaining games, Japan and Singapore on Friday, Japan on Thursday.
That'll be our game tomorrow night here on Sports Canada TV. The Singapore game is the middle of the day game. That's the 5 o'clock game on Friday. Our tail ender that night could be for a battle for 4th, with Australia playing the United States of America.
The USA sitting pretty, at least for the moment, in 3rd in the standings at 5-2, 5 wins, 2 losses. But they will face Argentina tomorrow, and as Kyle said, Australia on Friday. So the worst they could finish up would be 5-4. If Canada were to win tonight and run the table, the best Canada can do is 5-4.
Ball 4 issued to Gainey. So with 2 down in the inning, good pickup by Nihoy behind the plate. And right there for called strike. So the count runs at 1-1 to Justin Boyer. One. High fly, gonna find the bleacher creatures just down in front. That one didn't go as far as I thought it was off the bat, Jim.
I didn't think so either. It looked like it might come back. Untown Brown coming over from first. Mark Nihoy coming from behind the plate.
I had it pegged as actually going further into the bleachers rather than where it landed.
Quick update on the 6:30 game, Australia and Mexico. They are in the 6th inning. Australia 1, Mexico nothing. A battle of 2 teams, 3-3. Very crucial in their playoff hopes. We'll keep an eye on that one.
That one just over an hour old, so Lance Wynn and Joe Todd putting in only a half a day over there.
We'll have company soon.
I look forward to it. 3-2 count here to Justin Boyer. And ball 4 into the dirt. So 4 walks here for Tobias Holmeland. Came in with 14 on the week.
Well, don't say it that way. It's not 14 on the week. He came in with 14 in 1 game. I know. And that was in 4 innings, I believe.
3.1 innings pitched, and that looks as though it will be it.
Lucas Lohman coming out to pitch. He is their ace. So Tobias Holmeland not long for the world in this one.
So now you got to, there'll be a few defensive changes because I don't think you can take Holmeland's bat out of the lineup.
Not at all. He's the guy. He's the run producer, leading among the leaders in hits. A very fine athlete. He looks to be in the process of learning to pitch, has the fundamentals, just not the location at this point. We see Holmeland heading out to right field, so we'll wait for the official announcements on the other changes. But Lucas Lohman, the ace of the Denmark staff, coming on. He has been the workhorse for them.
So 16 for Denmark comes out. or 60 out. Andreas Endelspach comes out of the game.
Lucas Lohman can hit. Is that what they're doing? They're sliding him into that 7 spot.
Well, they only went with 9 in the lineup here tonight. So everybody going to get some hacks. Endelspach doesn't even get a plate appearance. Doesn't make it out of the first inning before he's lifted for Lucas Lohman. Some noise from the other diamond. So something is happening over there.
And I don't see that as an error on the part of the coaching staff for that result to happen. Lohman actually a very good hitter. Typically hits in the middle, like 5-6 spots in their batting order.
So Mexico has come back to tie that one up, 1-1 on the scoreboard.
Mexico playing some pretty good ball the last several days.
Their bats starting to awaken, and big hits in their game against Canada.
Well, if you've got 13 home runs in the tournament, you can come back in a hurry.
Tyler Anderson at the plate. Swing and a miss on a change as he's down on strikes to end the inning. 8 men to the plate. 3 runs come across on just 1 hit. No errors and 2 left. Head to the bottom half of the inning on Sports Canada TV.
And that takes care of the 3rd out. At the top of the 1st, there were 3 runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Scores 3 for Canada with Denmark coming up to bat. À la moitié de la première manche, il y a eu 3 points sur un coup sûr, aucune erreur et 2 coureurs laissés sur les buts. Le pointage est maintenant 3 pour le Canada et le Danemark qui se présente au bâton.
Team Argentina taking a bit of a rest out in the pasture to the left of the diamond.
Junior Men's World Championship is funded in part by Government of Yukon and Sports Canada.
Anton Brown will lead things off for Denmark. Martin Hedegaard will bat second. Mark Nihoy will bat third. Tobias Homeland in the 4-hole. Mads Diditas will bat fifth. The other Mads, Gregerson, will bat sixth. Lucas Lohman now on to pitch as he replaces Andreas Endelspach. He'll bat seventh. The 8-hitter's Nikolai Olsen, and the 9-hitter rounding out the order is Magnus Asmussen. For Canada defense, a shakeup as we said. It's Boyer, Paulai, and Mackay left to right across the outfield. Zach playing out in right field. Justin Gainey at third, Nick Penner the shortstop. Josh Elliott at second, Tyler Anderson first base. Francois Charles Rene spells off Taylor Shibata. He's going to DP tonight for Marc-Andre Villeneuve, who will get the start tonight for Canada. The old left-handed approach from the young pitcher of Canada. Like I said off the top, and Adrian mentioned, it's his first start here this week for Team Canada. First pitch will miss for ball one.
Kyle, quick update on that Mexico-Australia game. Mexico on top now, 2-1. Australia scored a run in the first. Mexico now with 2 in the 6th. Hayden Matthews' sac fly in the first was the Australia run, and it stayed that way until the 6th inning. Now Mexico tying it and going ahead.
So not going quietly off the glove of Villeneuve. Got a hustle in time. Stayed with it, knocked it down, and a 1-3 for the first out of the ball game of the inning.
The pitcher for Mexico, by the way, in that one currently in the game, he was the starter as well. Jaudiel Olais, the pitcher we saw out here, just a few hours ago against Canada.
To finish this one off against Canada, it was Olais coming on.
Selu pitching for Australia, Bichel in relief.
As that one called for a strike. Matthews, Priestley, and Loch will lead things off for Australia. And leadoff man gets on Jim by way of a walk over there. So that game getting a little interesting as the tying run reaches base.
I was just going to tell you that. Your Twitter feed's faster than the stat page.
0-2. And a swing and a miss. Good little slow rise from Villeneuve. Does the trick. 2 down.
Looked like after the win the other night, Australia starting to play better ball and putting runs on the board. That had been their problem in the first 3-4 games. But right now only able to muster 1 through 6 innings in Mexico and Audiel Olais.
So 2 quick down here. And a swing and a miss by the 3-spot Mark Nihoy. And that one to the top side for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike here. And that pitch will miss, up and out. Two balls, 1 strike. And a swing and a miss on a drop to the edge.
For Australia in the 7th, Priestley sacrifice bunts Matthews over.
Little check swing, not even going to run it out. 1-3, end the inning. 3-zip Canada, coming back with more.
And that's the 3rd out of the 1st inning. We had no runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. Score is still Canada 3, Denmark 0. À la fin de la première manche, il n'y a eu aucun point, aucun coup sûr, aucune erreur et aucun coureur laissé sur les buts. Le pointage est toujours Canada 3, Danemark 0. Air North, Yukon's airline is the official airline of the 2014 Junior Men's World Softball Championships. If you find a better price, they will match it. It's a fair match guarantee. Visit flyairnorth.com to book all of your travel. Leading off in the 2nd for Canada, number 16, le numéro 16, the right fielder, le voltigeur de droite, Zach Mackay.
Zach Mackay will come to the plate. We can tell you that Australia has tied it up at 2 in the 7th inning over yonder. And a hard shot on a line right to Martin Hedegaard as Mackay put a charge into 1. 1 down. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan. Here on Sports Canada TV, joining forces with the crew from British Columbia and our new sideline reporter Adrian South from Alberta. Glad you've joined us here on today's Wednesday. Days just start to run together, also known as Day 6 here in Whitehorse. Troy Brown, our executive producer and graphics guru today. Adam Donnelly back to the switches over to my left. Jillian Landegren out at home plate working on her camera angles. Kat Britton over at third base as she was giving us that look at Argentina having a nap. And the center field camera, Forrest Mann, coming out of the trees to give you the center field look as Pauli puts that one out for a single. So his bat's starting to wake up here at the end of the last game and now here tonight. Nick Penner will come to the plate for Canada. And into the dirt. Good pickup by Nihoy. Now I'm going to get lifted up on the left side. There you see Osmussen, who will make the grab for out number 2, and a pair of flyouts to the left fielder for Penner. Jim Flanagan back in the broadcast booth after taking a peek on diamond number 2.
2-2, 1 out in the 7th. Australia has tied Mexico. As we said, Australia 1-0 in the first, held it until the 6th when Mexico scored 2.
Off and running again into center field. That one skips. Hey, Pauli's going to try it into third. Throw gets away from the third baseman, Nikolai Olsen, as Tyler Pauli takes 2 and then on to 3 on the throwing air.
Australia had sacrificed the runner over to second, then cashed it in. So 2-2. There was 1 out. We'll keep an eye on it. 3 teams. Big game for both.
2 down in the inning. 1 ball to Shibata as he takes for ball. So 2-2 over in the Australia game. It really would pain me to see that one go extras for Lance and Joe over there.
We were talking about having company not long ago.
And that one skipped into the dirt for ball 3. 3-0. Shibata a break, and he'll do the hitting tonight as the designated player. And ball 4.
Josh McGovern for Australia coming in as a pinch hitter for Australia fans. 2-2 in the 7th against Mexico.
So Josh Elliott will come to the plate. He walked and scored in the first inning. We play here in the second. 3-0 in favor of the red and white of Canada. Misses for ball 1.
Australia game 4-6-3. The Mexico defense gets Audiel Alois out of the inning. So to the home half we go, tied at 2 over there.
Called a strike, 1-1. You see that 20-second clock counting down as that gets fouled off. And a hard shot. Falls in for a base hit. 1 run in. Shibata digging around to third. Stop sign on. And Elliott into second with a double. Drives in Pauli to make it 4-0. So Francois Charles Rene will come to the plate now for Canada. He had the 3-run shot back in the first inning. Surprise, surprise, 2 runners on. Into the dirt goes the opening pitch. And takes for strike one. Lohman sends that one on and foul down the line.
Mexico batting in the 7th. They've got 2, 3, 4 coming up. That would include Mr. Durazo with a number of home runs in the tournament. One swing of the bat could end that one. Mexico, the home team.
Depending on what he's done in the ball game, walk him. Off speed, called strike 3, and Charles Rene heads back to the bench. 3 down in the inning, 1 run across for Team Canada. That comes off of 2 hits, no errors. Excuse me, 1 error. And 2 left on base. Let's head to top of the 3rd. Bottom of the 2nd on Sports Canada TV.
Please join us in thanking our official suppliers, Airnor, Driving Force, Mizuno, Super Safe Fence Rentals, Patrick Laberge Productions, the Whitehorse Daily Stars, and CKRW. Veuillez vous joindre à nous pour remercier nos fournisseurs officiels, Airnor, Driving Force, les locations clôture Super Safe, les productions Patrick Laberge, le Daily Star, the Whitehorse, et CKRW. Leading off for Denmark in the 2nd. Number 66, le numéro 66, le lanceur, the pitcher, Tobias Holmelund.
Back here into this Pepsi Softball Center. Long run. Makes the grab. Does Justin Boyer. Out in left field to start the bottom half of the 2nd inning.
Kyle Bichel gets Australia out of the 7th inning, so to the international tiebreaker we go in that one. Mexico, Australia, into the 8th.
A little extra work for Lance and Joe. I think that should deserve a round of beers on their part.
For us?
Yeah, they buy us because they win extra innings. Diamond 2 has been where all the extra games have gone. Running a clean slate over here.
Also the location of the 14 walk game that you left me with.
I did not make the schedule. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mads Deditas at the plate here for Denmark. And that pitch will miss. Have you noticed Villeneuve's footwork on the mound, Jim? It's quite interesting. He'll slide that front foot across and then actually almost have a skip step through as he pushes off the mound.
It is interesting that usually the issue is the back foot coming off in the forward motion. He seems to almost go sideways on it, but seems to keep pretty good contact. Some great camera work there. Who's on that one?
There's Cap Britton bringing that to you at home as Deditas pops that out into center field for a base hit.
I would enjoy seeing that one again. The footwork out at the pitching plate. Lefties always find a different way to do things, huh? And I would apologize to left-handed people, but I wouldn't mean it, so I won't.
That one misses for ball one. As that one misses. Apparently we're chopped liver all of a sudden. 2 balls into the dirt for ball 3. We have to take you up on that. That's awesome. Very good. The World Wide Web strikes again with the internet broadcast here at the ISF World Juniors. And into the dirt for ball 4. So 1 out and 2 runners now get on base. So Denmark gets a little bit rolling here. Already warming up down in right field, though, is Eric Healy.
4-man staff for Canada, Kyle, including Wardrop and Randerson.
That would be 4, yep. Just looking through to make sure I'm not missing anybody.
And Healy was the kid that came in relief in the USA game in that wild 7th inning.
Yeah. Swing and a miss by Lohman. With an 0-2 count, 1 down in the inning. And that one will miss. Top side, and Villeneuve thinking about maybe trying to pick off Gregerson over at first base. Villeneuve, chopper to the mound. 1-5, safe. So 2 down in the inning. Fielder's choice, and let's take another look at that nifty footwork by Villeneuve with the pitch. You see him step to the side, clear the feet, bring that front foot around, and off and running up into third goes Gregerson. Lohman up into second as Olsen at the plate now for...
It's interesting, what he seems to be doing is going sideways, but he stays in contact with the plate. Usually the separation occurs when you go forward. Doing it that way, it seems like he can get his body in motion, get some weight behind the pitch, and still stay in contact. Kind of an interesting approach to doing it.
Look at it. That ball came not from the other diamond. And that one misses top side. 2-1. Update from the other diamond, Jim Flanagan, 3-2 in favor of Australia.
I see it.
Callum Bichol, I believe, put one out on the double. Excuse me, Dylan Rakic, the single to right field as the count goes 2-2.
David McCaskey coming in to score on Rakic's single.
Down and away, skips away from Charles Rene.
Remember, it is the international tiebreaker, so Mexico in their home half will also start with a runner at second. Right now, it looks like the bases are loaded for Australia.
3-2 count, 2 down here in the inning. Marc-Andre Villeneuve works. Hot shot. Foul. Nice hands by the protector of Eric Healy down on the right side. Olsen put a charge into that one. Villeneuve off speed, called, strike 3. Down on strikes looking goes Olsen. We'll head field level with Adrian South, who has some visitors. Adrian?
And that's the third out of the second inning.
All right, thanks guys. I'm here with two very special guests, Gary and Liz Baker, parents of Johnny Baker, all the way from my hometown of Kitchener, Ontario. Now, what are your thoughts on the tournament so far? Canada doing a bit better in this game against Denmark than the one earlier today?
Yeah, they are. They seem to get the bats going today, and the pitching has been pretty good, and defensively we've been pretty strong as well, so that's good to see.
And you guys just got here on Monday, I believe you said. What are your thoughts on the tournament overall?
Well, we got here Friday for some of us and Monday for the rest of us. Overall, it's a very nice park. It's good to see this level of ball, and it gives us something to aspire to.
And what does it mean for you guys to see Johnny wearing a Team Canada jersey for the first time?
It's pretty proud moment, I think, is a good way to put it. So.
And what was it like when he found out the news? What was the first call he made, or what was the reaction?
Well, I was out hanging up laundry actually, and he came out to me and he said, "Well, I guess you had better book your flights out." And then I gave him a hug, and he was so excited, he was shaking. He was trying to hold it all together, but he was shaking. He was very excited. So it was. He's been working at this for forever. It's a game he loves to play, and he's worked very, very, very hard to get here. And when he found out he was coming, he was very excited.
And now, I forget what I was just going to say, but this is oh, right, you said that you were a ball, got a little distracted with the play going, but you said you guys are all a ball family, and that you had some new exciting news from about some of your other children. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we have 4 kids that play ball. Johnny, then we got a daughter, Michaela, and then we got 2 other boys. Noah, who is just qualified to play in the Canadians at the Bantam level, and Thomas, who is qualified to go to Eastern Canadians with his team. So,
excellent. Well, it's great to have you both here, and I will send things back over to the broadcast booth.
Thanks a lot, Adrian. A very proud moment you can see for mom and dad of Johnny Baker, and sounds like they're going to have a bit busier of a summer once they get back from Whitehorse with Eastern Canadians and the Canadian Championships for their one son. So, exciting times in the Baker household, I'm sure. And that one goes foul. You saw Justin Gainey put one out into the outfield for a base hit. So Canada gets that leadoff man back on base. And continues to try and pile on some more runs. Lohman misses for a ball. Misses again with the top side. So the count runs 2 balls, 2 strikes here to the 2-hitter in the inning, Justin Boyer. He walked back in the first, was stranded on base. And come across at the letters, a little bend in the knees by Lohman in despair almost as the count runs up full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Australia still batting, top of the 8th, bases loaded. The pinch hitter, Mason Rossi, comes in and pops up. So Mexico with 1 out.
And Boyer going to lift that on the left, fall in for a base hit. So Boyer and Gainey move up 60 feet. Mason Rossi's woes at the plate continue for the young Aussie, the third baseman. And now Ty Randerson will come to the plate. Struck out back in the first inning. And called for strike 1. Four nothing in favor of Canada. 3 runs on the 3-run shot by Charles Rene. And the first, Tyler Pauli singled and scored on the RBI double by Josh Elliott in the second. And a check swing on the line. Foul. So extra life here for Randerson. As 1 minute the sun goes away, people put their coats on. The next minute the sun comes back out and the coats come back off. Just wait 5 minutes, Jim. The weather will change.
So will the score in the Australia-Mexico game. Ball hit down in the right field corner. 1 run, 2 run. We'll check the total. But Australia adding to their lead in that tiebreaker 8th.
So it could be 5-2 now.
5-2 now is the score. Base is cleared.
And a swing and a miss on a drop by
I'm
Randerson.
sorry, second and third.
So one down in the inning. Second strikeout on Randerson tonight, as Zach Mackay will come to the plate. Zach had that laser shot to center his first time up in the second. 2 runners on with one down in the inning. Single strikeout for Canada here this inning. Up 4 in the third. And a good pickup by Nihoy behind the plate. All in one motion, standing up and grabbing that ball. We wind down day 6 here from Whitehorse, Yukon. And the comebacker to the mound. Go to third for one, but he drops it. So all hands are safe. Reaches on an error, does Gainey to the third baseman.
Now batting for Canada. Number 20, the center fielder, Tyler Pauly.
And a quick little visit to the mound for the infield. Just past the halfway mark yesterday, and already 40,000 plus viewers have joined us here this week. From, believe it or not, Jim Flanagan, 56 different countries.
That is up from the other day when we had 47. So the other day it was 25% of the countries in the world you found. Moving on up, we'll share the country by country totals with you in a little while. Some interesting results there. One country in particular with more viewers than I might have expected.
And Pauly going to drop that in for a base hit. 1 run in, 2 run, come around in to score safely. And up to third will move Mackay. And Pauly on the throw up to second. So 2 RBI single as Tyler Pauly starts to find his stroke again.
Number 11, the shortstop, let it go, Nick Penner.
So 6 runs. Now the margin for Canada as Penner now comes to the plate. He takes for ball 1 as Lohman still begrudging Bob Gieskens. Lohman into the dirt for ball 2. 2-0. That late night sunshine cast down on us here on Diamond 1 as it normally does this week at this time of night.
The 8 o'clock laser beam.
And the count runs to 3-0. So Penner 0 for 2 thus far, trying to get his bat working. And a bouncer out on the 5.5 hole. 1 run in. 2 run coming in to score. Penner digging around into third. He's getting the wave around. Here comes the throw. Cut off. Not in time. Nick Penner. On inside the Parker. Some of the fans saying, if you can't hear it at home, that Canada needed this one. I would agree that need to get the bats going.
While a break in the action here, we'll peek at Mexico, Australia. Australia took a 5-2 lead in the top of the 8th. Side now retired. Miguel Ureta on in relief of Jaudiel Olais. He was charged with all 5 runs. And Mexico now will get a shot at the tie, but surrendering 3 big runs to Australia. Australia had a 1-0 lead in the first. They held it until the 6th. Mexico went up to 1. Australia tied it at 2. And in the top of the 8th inning, Australia scoring 3. That one deep.
To the fence. Retrieved and brought back in as Taylor Shibata moves into second. I lost that one in the sun.
I can't see in the first place, so I never had it.
The blind leading the blind here in the box tonight with the sun.
Thank you, Sports Canada TV. We're watching right along with you. A little tough to see at the moment. It'll go away in a moment.
As Josh Elliott comes to the plate and takes for strike 1. Kyle Smith, Jim Flanagan, Adrian South here on Sports Canada TV. And that one gets lifted up and out of play.
It occurs to me, Kyle, that we've had dueling broadcasts before where each of us has a game of our own going on, but with Sports Canada TV, this is the first time we've had a dual broadcast of sorts, trying to keep you up on the Australia-Mexico game. A big one in the determination as to who will march on to the medal round. Those two teams fighting for their life with 3-3 records.
And Canada hoping someone loses, come back to the pack and help tomorrow as Canada sits with 4. It could get interesting as this week moves on. Still a lot of good ball games to be had and some upsets maybe to be seen. As the count now 2-2. Question mark. Denmark works. Lohman misses. And the count now 3-2. Josh Elliott at the plate, he walked and scored, had a double, was stranded out at second back in the second inning. And now he'll walk for the second time tonight. So 1 down in the inning, and Francois Charles Rene will come to the plate. Already a big 3-run shot here this evening. That started the Canada attack. And pitch will miss for ball 1. Villeneuve out, just keeping loose over in the warm-up area. And Charles Rene pops it on the 3.5 hole. 1 run comes around. 2 runs come around. Maybe just 1. I'm a little ahead of myself.
The run rule, of course, 3 different ways to get there. 15 after 3, 10 after 4, or 7 after 5. Right now, 10-0 Canada. We're in the 3rd.
And a bat-around inning for Team Canada as Justin Gainey comes to the plate. Misses for ball 1, and Lohman wondering where he's missing. As I may have to tend to agree, as that one looked pretty good, at least to the letters. In out the variance.
Down 5-2, Mexico down to their final out.
And that one gets flared up. Caught by the shortstop Gregerson for out number 2. Temporary runner probably going to be used here for Francois Charles Rene. So it'll be Justin Gainey who will run for Francois.